Hello and welcome everyone, Lionheart here with some brand new Total War Warhammer gameplay footage. I'm playing as Bretonia, defending against Darren, or Darren Total War from Creative Assembly, one of the community managers there, who's playing as the Vampire Counts, assaulting this city that I'm trying to defend. And this ties in with the recent announcement that Creative Assembly made earlier today, that Bretonia will be playable in custom and multiplayer battles from day one, from launch. However, it won't be available as a playable race in the Grand Campaign at launch. It will be available to play as in custom and multiplayer battles for everyone. So, taking a look at some of the architecture here and some of the various pieces off in the background here. Lady with the chalice. And I'll go through the unit roster, or the troops I've selected rather for this battle. I'm adding this commentary to this footage post recording. If you want to see kind of a live commentary, check out Creative Assembly's latest rally point, which I recorded live with Joey, the community coordinator for Total War Warhammer, when I was invited up to studio the other week to record this. So, as you can see from my roster, I've got man-at-arms with polearms, peasant archers, Grail knights, knights of the realm, yeoman archers, mounted yeoman archers, Pegasus knights, and 2 trebuchets. And I've also got 3 heroes as well, one of them being my legendary lord, LIONHEART, a paladin, my melee specialist, and a damsel, my spellcaster. But now we're looking at the Pegasus knights with their lances. These are some of the more devastating troops that Bretonia can field. While they don't have kind of the huge monstrous creatures of some other factions, they do have the powerful magic users with the damsel, and also have rather powerful cavalry with their knights, not only on the ground but also, as you saw there, the Pegasus knights. So we've got the Grail knights here with their enchanted lances. I believe these are their like flaming lances. You see the paladin and LIONHEART with them as well. So my mounted yeoman there. So I'm going to take a look at LIONHEART, and I should say there are a couple of bugs which you may see in this build. It is a work in progress, development in progress build, and the dev team have already worked on fixing some of these issues, and the rest are all noted. One of them being that LIONHEART has black eyes and a weird mouth, as we're zooming in on him. You may see that Darren's Terrorgeist flies through its own flag, and there's shadow flickering throughout that does occasionally occur, but some of those are already fixed, and the rest are the development team all well aware of and will be sorted by release, I've been told. So they're taking a look at LIONHEART with his flaming sword, taking a look at the paladin very briefly, lovely little cape there, and we've got the damsel, who is my sorceress, as she proclaimed there. So that's my trio. We've got a thunderbolt there, chain lightning, which I'll get to show off both of those abilities. I don't actually use the Comet Cassandra in this one, but yeah, these are my heroes for the battle that I've got. Essentially 2 melee specialists and 1 spellcaster. So start placing my troops up on the wall. I've got the peasant bowmen, and obviously the Vampire Counts have no missile troops, so these archers should be able to inflict a fair bit of damage without being harassed too much, although we can see off in the distance Darren does have a couple of Fellbat units, which when I was talking to him after the battle, he explained why he was using them in the way he did, which I'll explain when that happens. I won't give away what he does with those, but kind of, I guess, well, pretty good top tip actually. So putting all the archers behind the various towers, we can see he's got the Terrorgeist here. But by putting those archers behind the towers, it activates each tower, which can only fire outward. There's that Terrorgeist. There's like tongue sticking out between the teeth. Ah, there's like skulls hanging off his flesh. He looks nasty. Looks nasty. But yeah, so activate all those towers by having the archers behind them. And then I've got my spearmen at arms, which I'm putting up on the walls so that when those siege towers that Darren's got dock, I'll be able to fight them up on the walls and hold them up on the walls. So Knights of the Realm and my Grail Knights. I'm going to pop by this gate and sally out and try and flank Darren's forces while they're committed to try and take the walls. Pulling back my Yeoman Archers as well. And I've got my Pegasus Knights, which I'm going to keep here because I can fly them out over the walls and see if I can do some damage that way. Men-at-Arms with polearms. Have them down on the ground. Get them to kind of go on in once the enemy clashes. I'm just going to pop one over to the side. Trebuchets I'm placing back here so they've got enough clearance to fire over the walls. Just getting the angles right, and then decide to put one Trebuchet over on the left here so it can kind of fire from this angle. Hopefully get some of those towers or the troops as they come flying on in. So the Trebuchets there. And obviously they can be controlled in manual fire mode, although I don't think I tried. Actually, I think I tried towards the end of the battle to fire a Trebuchet manual fire mode. And I decided to put my Damsel up on the wall here on one side and the Paladin on the other, with LIONHEART defending the main gate with 2 units of polearms in front. Very much whatever comes with that gate, you will stand your ground. Totally wrong fantasy crossovers, I know, but oh well. So yes, that's how I've deployed my defence. A couple of units in reserve on the ground, ready to face whatever comes over those walls, basically, and then a couple at the main gate, because they do have some monstrous creatures. Darren's got some crypt horrors, and they can smash through gates and attack gates as well. So we begin. Just have to wait for Darren to ready up at his end. And we can see on the bottom right we've got the amount of Winds of Magic power that I've got available to cast my spells. So first of all, I decided to push out the gate, flank out the gate on the left because Darren hasn't deployed anyone here. My trebuchets are loading up. And in come those fellbats. Now Darren told me the reason why he did this was so that by essentially having the fellbats in front of the towers are more likely to strike those as well as my archers. So he's actually screening the advance of his army with those fellbats. They are kind of cheap, disposable units, and this is probably quite a useful way of deploying them, having them just in front of your army to screen any missiles. You can see a trebuchet shot firing over there, I think actually clipping a couple of the fellbats there. So we've got these crypt horrors which have stormed on forward, but they are being shredded by my archers, but they are going to make it to the gates now. I'm flanking out with my Grail Knights and Knights of the Realm because I'm going to try and flank Darren's forces, although he's got a unit of Black Knights that are already flanking out there on the left, and he's gone in against my Pegasus Knights with the fellbats, and at this point I'm not too worried because Pegasus Knights, they can easily take the fellbats. Although it looks like he's using a Hex on me, and uh-oh, in comes the Terrorgeist. Now, this is where things get very dicey for my poor Pegasus Knights, which unfortunately I don't really get a chance to use because this happens. Terrorgeist comes in for a munch. You can see he's like clawing at them. They're all falling out the skies like dead pigeons, and that is all of my Pegasus Knights just destroyed by the Terrorgeist. The Terrorgeist is bloody powerful, and he absolutely wrecks my poor Pegasus Knights here. So I decided to charge in here with my Grail Knights against the Black Knights, and the charge that makes from the cavalry there, they just slam together rather than powering through that you've seen with some of the infantry, cav versus infantry charge. However, I'm going to get the rear charge in here against his Black Knights. He's also got his Black Coach in as well, which I believe gives a charge bonus, but we've already hit these Black Knights really hard. You can see they're crumbling already because they've sustained so much damage and they've been flanked. Meanwhile, the towers have reached the walls. My archers, I haven't been able to withdraw them, so I'm going in with those spears. Some of the archers are flanking. I'm sending some of my polearms up to the walls, getting my paladin involved and popping his augments to improve his melee abilities and to give a bit more leadership to those around. And now I decide to cast the I think it's a Thunderbolt, or I'm looking to cast the Chain Lightning, I think. And this looks really cool when I get it off. Yeah, here we go. Chain Lightning's a vortex spell that's popping around trying to find the right one to lock onto. Here we go. Watch this vortex. So you're just shredding through those zombies. Unfortunately, it fires off to the right, and it goes on a long time, that vortex spell. Now, this is coming up to one of my favourite moments from this entire battle. Just watch what happens with LIONHEART when he goes in against these crypt horrors in a moment. I just managed to capture. Here we go. jumps on top of him and stabs his flaming sword in the Crypt Horror. That's an awesome kill animation. I haven't seen too many of them with my limited kind of time that I've been able to play Total Warhammer at various events and at Creative Assembly Studio, but that animation looked awesome. I hope there's kind of a lot more of those, because obviously those Crypt Horrors were already on really low health, and it obviously just worked out that the next attack from LIONHEART would kill them, so it went in for a really nice kill animation. So you see, Darren's got Manfred von Karstein there. It actually renames your legendary lord to your name, so he's showing up as Darren. So as you can see by the troop numbers, we are dead even at this point. And Darren, I believe, had about 500 more men deployed than I did, so I've managed to take down a fair few of his. He's got the skeleton warriors and the zombies. We took out a lot of those zombies, though, with that spell early on. The paladin fighting up on the wall like a madman, bravely fighting and with honour. You can see you just throw a thunderbolt down there to try and clear some of the graveguard that have come up on the walls through that siege tower. But balance of power is very even at this point. Got this big fight for the walls. My cavalry's been left alone. Thankfully, that Terrorgeist didn't come in for round 2 for munchies. I actually don't know where it's gone. Oh, it's flying over the walls again, and it's just kind of looking at my troops near LIONHEART by the gate there. I think he's about to go in. Oh, and something's cast a vortex spell, but it's thankfully missed, and it's actually flying through all the troops, through the gap between the troops. It actually the Terrorgeist goes through it, but he's not even bothered. He comes flying down again. I don't have enough Winds of Magic available, some power to cast any spells on my damsel at the moment, so I'm going to have to wait for that to regenerate. I think at this point it was regenerating 1 point every 40 seconds, and there are various things you can do to increase how quickly that regenerates. But my paladin going there again, flaming sword, blasting graveguard back, and now bringing my Knights of the Realm and Grail Knights background. I want to slam into the troops at the gate. Got my mounted yeoman archers here, still firing at a couple of Fellbats that are still alive somehow. I didn't get to take them out because the Pegasus Knights got wrecked, which I'm disappointed that I didn't get a chance to use them. Definitely, if I get another chance to play as Bretonia before launch, I want to test out some Pegasus Knight crashing down charges and things like that. But desperately trying to hold those troops on the wall. The Terrorgeist has come down into the gate, and he's trying to clear a path. LIONHEART is fighting some zombies. I'm popping all of his augments. We're trying to go after the Terrorgeist, but it's crawling away. I've still got some zombies to clear at the gate. Some of my troops fleeing back through them. So my Grail Knights got destroyed. So we're charging on in. It's because actually the tower was firing against me because they've captured one of my towers. So I'm charging in here with my Knights. We catch that black coach and some of the Crypt Horrors that are left, which actually go down in a minute. There you go. That one's lanced down. I was trying to get Darren if I could, because I wanted to kill him, to kill Manfred, and then we'd see most of his troops crumble. Those zombies are really taking a beating. Just trying to hold this gate now, because Darren's piling everything that he's got left into the gateway. And this paladin, it has taken a lot of damage up here. He's not got a lot of health left. LIONHEART, he's still got plenty. I'm trying to get him in. Decided to go for the black coach, try and bring that down, but then spot Darren in the mix as well. Manfred, decided to go for him. So if I can take him down, then I know I'll break his force. I'll try to get the men-at-arms to go for Darren. Oh no, he's got his vampire, his Vampiress. Don't know the right term there for that, but his female vampire, and I believe she's his spellcaster of sorts. I think she was probably the one that popped that vortex. So I've got my archers here. The Terrorgeist still, I mean, barely any health has gone from it. This thing is an absolute machine. Throwing every unit that I can to try and stop it and bring it down. But I don't have enough troops kind of available to tear everything down. Looks like that black coach might be going though. Looks like it's crumbling. Trying to go after Darren here with Lewin. Oh, the black coach nearly down, nearly down. Meanwhile, my forces here. We've still got the trebuchets over there. A couple of troops have kind of come back. They've broken, but they've reformed, they've rallied. I'm sending them back towards the main gate. Trying to get my yeoman horse archers here, mounted horse archers. Spearmen up on the wall, the grave guard, just mincing through them. Oh, these guys are about to be munched by that Terrorgeist. He's coming in, he pops something off. I'm trying to throw the Thunderbolt down on the Terrorgeist here, do a lot of damage on it. But it does do some, but even that's probably just tickles it. And Terrorgeist moving over to the left here to attack my new troops. Well, I've just brought round here my mounted yeoman archers, although they've got a little bit of ammo left. And Darren now breaking through the gates with his force. He's got Manfred in there, so he's, you know, keeping them all buffed as much as possible to try and stop them from crumbling. I've got a couple of archers available here, just scrambling now to gather whatever troops I can find that are still around. But if you look at the balance of power bar, it's only just started tipping in Darren's favour. It's been very close up until this point. Going in with some pole arms that I've still got. My paladin's broken, unfortunately. My damsel's still available here. And I throw down another Thunderbolt. What I really should have been doing, actually, is saving up for the Chain Lightning again, the Vortex spell. But at this point, I was just trying to throw down to try and crumble and break some units. So I start bringing units round to the square that have been broken and have routed round to the left flank. Bring some of these archers off. So, LIONHEART. Let's come back in the fight. Here's the manual fire trebuchet. Let's just like try a shot against the Terrorgeist, but it's too close within range, so I can't fire it against them. And by this point, I can't actually fire manually because the Terrorgeist engaging the crew has broken them off, and they now have to fight in melee. Trying to get my archers to focus on the Terrorgeist because that's just causing so much damage. And it's not even at half health yet. Darren, meanwhile, has charged on in with Manfred into my victory point. I'm trying to bring my troops in here to fire on him. I've got a few troops that have rallied back here. I think I actually miss Darren moving into the square there because I don't notice him and don't target him. Archer's just constantly trying to rain down arrows on that Terrorgeist. It's down to half health now, finally. My damsel's in here as well. But the Terrorgeist has had enough of those archers going after it, so it flies off there. I try and pull some of my forces back, my Legendary Lord. LIONHEART. Darren, I'm trying to go for him. I'm trying to go for him now because he's isolated. If I can get him, then I can crumble the rest of his force because it is so close at this point. But he is mounted. And my Paladin's come back as well. So I decided to throw my Paladin back in. He's got very little health. But maybe just. And this Arcane Conduit, when I activate this, it basically speeds up how quickly I get more mana, more magic in the Winds of Magic power pool, as it were. Rather than, I think it goes to like 1 point every 9 seconds, rather than 1 point every 40 seconds, which is rather substantial. So I'm just trying to power up my damsel here so I can get the Chain Lightning. It needs 15 power to activate. So I reckon if I can throw one of those Chain Lightning vortexes and hit most of those troops, they will either crumble or break, and I'll be able to turn it around. In the meantime, I'm trying to charge after Darren, try and bring down his Manfred. Archer's firing on him. I don't know at this point where the Terrorgeist is gone. I think it's... oh, it's at the back there. I can just see its wing. So Darren's like pulling out here, and I think this might be a good chance to try and get him. Pop the augments again with LIONHEART. In goes the Paladin. But while the honourable Bretonians will happily duel away from the rest of the men, Darren looks to flee when LIONHEART gets stuck in there as well. I've only got 6 Winds of Magic right now. Still not enough of that Chain Lightning, which I desperately need. Mounted Yeoman and try and get them to still fire on the Terrorgeist. Just try and bring down his toughest troops to make the rest break and crumble. Fighting with everything we've got with my heroes here. But as you can see, watch that top bar, that balance of power, so you can actually almost watch it decrease down in real time there. think his Terrorgeist decides to go after those archers at the rear. Still trying to find a path to Darren. My damsel's actually broken at this point. Bring in some more pole arms. Try and trap that Terrorgeist down there. But Leonheart getting himself surrounded now, which is not good. Try a melee charge with the yeoman. I don't know how well it will work. These guys are meant to be kept at range, but even they get a good charge. There's an augment, or I think a hex popped on them at the same time. Darren's at like a third health remaining. Thankfully my damsels come back, but we still don't have that 15 power that we need for the chain lightning. And the Terrorgeist seems to have spotted my forces over here. It's hungry for more Bretonnian flesh. Darren's still got plenty of strength, although Leonheart's still got more health. Archers over here, still firing. My damsels come back. Popping his augments again, Deadly Onslaught to increase his melee ability. Damage, trying to smack Darren more than he can smack me, but he's doing a lot of damage in there. He's also got his, I think he's got his vampire in there as well, and she's doing lots of damage. And at this point, I'm trying to bring my damsel over. I've nearly got enough for the Thunderbolt, but what I really want is that chain lightning still. But Leonheart has been broken. You can see he's trying to flee out there. He hasn't been killed. And this is probably where I lose. I make the wrong choice to whether to wait for the chain lightning. I should have popped that Thunderbolt straight away now, in a hope that I could bring Darren down. But I wanted still to wait for the chain lightning because I've just popped my Arcane Conduit again to boost the rate at which I get magic to the pool. But unfortunately, I'm broken. And Darren claims victory. Just a valiant defeat there. And we'll take a look at the see the stats at the end of this. But very, very close, and you'll see that with the stats in a moment. As you have lost, but there is honor in this defeat. The enemy is as broken as you. So I'm happy with that result. Darren, I mean, with that Terrorgeist doing so much damage. But here we go. We look at this screen, the valiant defeat. I deployed 1,585. Darren deployed 2,077. I lost 1,038, and I had 547 remaining because my troops had just been broken at the end there. Darren lost 1,908 and only had 169 remaining, so it's just a case of breaking Leonheart there at the end. He'd obviously got rid of my paladin. I'd lost my knights, and unfortunately I just didn't have enough mana, enough winds of magic power to activate my chain lightning right at the end there. I could have gone for the Thunderbolt. It would have been interesting to see what would happen if I'd chosen that Thunderbolt. Would it have been enough to break them? But down to the wire, very close, and I will certainly be looking for a rematch versus Darren at some point soon. So I hope you've enjoyed this battle, this siege defense, me playing as Bretonnia, Darren playing as the Vampire Counts assaulting. And again, just a reminder that Bretonnia will be playable in custom and multiplayer battles on day one, on launch day, for Total War Warhammer. It won't be a playable race in the campaign just yet at launch, but it will be available in custom and multiplayer battles. And any bugs you saw there, I've got an email list of ones that they've already told me that I mentioned at the start of the video that they are already aware of, fixed, and fixing basically. So they'll should be all sorted for launch. So let me know what content you'd like to see next. I might be able to persuade CA to let me come up again and try out some more scenarios. So if there's some other battles and things you'd like to see, feel free to suggest them down below. What did you think of Bretonnia? And I'll see you in the next one. So don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Take pride and join the Legion. Check out my affiliates and sponsors, XMG, Greenman Gaming, and GC Omega Racing. Until next time, ciao for now.